Hey everybody, welcome to Zynn Empowerment. What a beautiful day. It's Thursday. I didn't make it back to my office. I'm out on the side by side. We're having a good time, getting it dirty, having an enjoyable time. Wanted to welcome you to Zynn Empowerment. I'm so grateful for the opportunity I have to visit with so many different people from so many different parts of the country, to learn and to hear their viewpoints, their vantage points, what they see, what they feel. Today, as we go into today's Zynn Empowerment, I apologize for the extra noise out here. The idea behind today is the reflection of our environment, the reflection of who we are. Earlier today, I was at a meeting and I overheard two gentlemen talking, arguing. They were very political. This isn't a political post. I don't want to be political. I'm not looking to have any debate here. But these two individuals were really heated, talking about our current economic and social environment, and they were going back and forth. And I thought they were very closely aligned, but they couldn't see each other's viewpoints. But as I listened, I heard one of them say something that was it was just incredible that he said it. He said, "I guarantee you the next 3 years will be worse than the last three. I guarantee you the next 3 years will be worse than the last three." And I thought, wow, how are you so certain? How do you know? What do you think you know that you can make such a bold claim? And here's what I realized. His comments are a reflection of who he is and how he sees the world. That's all. If he's a negative person, if he's grouchy, if he's angry, if he's frustrated, his comments and his commentary are going to be a reflection of who he is. This is very important. As we work on ourselves and as we start to empower ourselves and start to grow and develop, we need to recognize that we're a reflection of ourselves, of our thoughts, of our feelings, of how we show up. It reminds me of a story, and I'm going to try to do this quickly. And this may be a true story, I don't know, but it's a fun story anyway. There's a guy out gardening in his front yard, he's weeding, and a man pulls up and he says, "Hey, I noticed there's a house for sale down here. Is this a good neighborhood?" And the man says back to him, "Listen, it's probably a lot like your last neighborhood. What was that like?" And the man said, "Oh, it was miserable. I hated it. Our neighbors were contentious. Everybody was always fighting. I just needed to find a way to get out of there. We finally were able to sell our home, and now we're looking, and we're just trying to find a good neighborhood." And the man looked up from weeding, and he said, "You know, this neighborhood's probably going to be a lot like your last one." And he said, "Really?" And he said, "Yeah, I'm afraid so." And he drove off. Less than a minute later, another person drove up and said, "Hey, I noticed the for sale sign down here. What's the neighborhood like?" And the man looked up from his weeding, and he said, "It's probably a lot like your last neighborhood. How was that?" And the person responded, "Well, it was an amazing neighborhood. Everyone was so kind and generous and full of love, and they were very supportive of each other. We were so sad to move, but we're really trying to hope to find a neighborhood like that." And the man that was weeding looks up and he says, "You know, this neighborhood's going to be a lot like that. You're going to find that here." And I think that that's a true, even though that may be a fake story, the contents of the story are true. And it's more about who we are and how we approach that neighborhood than how that neighborhood is. Now, granted, there are some bad neighborhoods, and there are probably some really good neighborhoods. But in our life, so much of our life is a reflection of who we are and how we show up and what we decide to do with what's given to us. We can clearly spend hours focusing on the negative, or we can really look at and accentuate the positive. As we start to move forward in our own individual empowerments, what I want you to be very careful of is what you read and what you hear on lives. Be very careful of what you hear from weird dudes. Make sure you ask yourself, is this coming from a place of positivity? Is it coming from a place of fact? Is it coming from a place of knowledge? Or is it just a reflection of that guy's bad attitude? Or that woman's bad perception? There's so much content out there. Some of it's good. I hope ours is good. Some of it's good. But it's up to us to feel fulfillment. I want us to feel joy. I want us to live our best lives. Today on Instagram, we put up a post, and if you haven't seen it, go look at it. And you really got to ask yourself, if this is a life worth living, am I living a life worth living? And so much negativity and so much wrong with the world, it'd be very easy to get caught up in the fact that it's all broken. We love you, we hope for you, we pray for you, we think about you, we consider you, and we want you to really look at everything and ask yourself, is this a reflection of reality or a reflection